we're going to keep the conversation on housing and construction, keeping the door open, you might say, with a unique entryway perspective into housing market-related demand and much more. Masonite CEO Howard Heckes is joining us now. Howard, forgive all of our door puns. You guys make doors, hence all of the puns about doors. And so you guys reported your numbers a couple of days ago. Like many companies that make stuff of all kinds, you're seeing lower volume, rising pricing. That's helping you out. But just give us a big picture view on demand right now and what you're seeing.
Sure, Julie. Thanks for having me on. You're right. We've seen demand soften in the fourth quarter specifically. Not surprising, right? I mean, you talk about new housing and you talk about interest rates and all those things. However, when I joined Masonite a few years ago, one of my goals was to not have to wake up on February 24th and we were going to have a good year, right? Because everybody needs doors and everybody needs houses. And so we know we're in a cyclical market. We understand that it's a bit of a down cycle as we are here today, but we're trying to do things in the business that actually help us control our own destiny and grow in even down markets. So great news today, 670,000 houses sold. That's terrific. But in down markets, in up markets, we think we can be creative and innovative on what we do to help people solve life and living problems with their doors.
And when we think about the Internet of Things and the rise of the connected home, smart appliances, the door follows the front door, a big part of that as well. Tell us about how that segment is being penetrated by electronic gadgets.
Yeah, it's an interesting question, Jared. So we look at that trend of smart homes. And the doors have not been part of that. And yet consumers tell us connectivity and smart homes are important. So we did launch the first powered and connected entry door in the market called M-Power, going to be available nationwide at Home Depot later this year. And it allows you to connect to that smart home. So your video doorbell and your smart lock and your LED lighting, all controlled by apps. We absolutely see that as a trend. And we think we should be a leader in that space.
And what kind of demand are you seeing for sort of products? I know this particular product is new, but what kind of demand are you seeing for products sort of going in that direction?
You know, it's interesting because the pandemic sort of created people to be more aware of their doors. So privacy, for example, became a big deal. When you were trying to work out of your home and you were in your bedroom because that was the only door that had a room that had a door, and then you realized it was a hollow core door and you could hear everything on the other side. People then said, wow, maybe my life and living would be better if I had a solid wood door or a solid core door. And so we see a trend toward higher value products as people are more aware that their doors can and should play a more important role. Consumers talk to us about privacy, security, light, energy, ventilation, connectivity, and style. And so we are absolutely seeing mix. And in fact, one of the positive things in our earnings release yesterday was, again, positive mix in the business toward higher value products that help solve life and living problems.
We heard a lot about, over the pandemic, a lot about supply chain problems. Just wondering if those factored into your business model, the things that you had to overcome, perhaps. A lot of companies finally now able to shut that door, at least close it temporarily on that chapter, but wondering what your experience was.
Certainly, we had the same problems. Our supply chain team was working tirelessly to find alternative suppliers. And when all the boats were on we saw the pictures of the boats on the water in Long Beach waiting to be unloaded. Certainly, we had products on those boats, and it was a challenge, no question. But I do feel like, Jared, those problems are generally behind us, knock on wood. We feel like we're in a much better position from a supply chain perspective. And as I said, I hope those are problems of the past.
So what's happening with pricing then, if that's abating? I mean, as we've been talking about, we got the PCE numbers this morning that came in hotter than estimated. At least the January numbers, both on the wholesale and consumer level, they're not looking so great. What are you seeing in your business?
Right. Well, pricing, we're still seeing elevated costs, first of all. So not only are we using material that we bought sort of in the height of inflation, we are beginning to see some moderation with logistics, for example. But generally speaking, our costs are still elevated. So that's certainly problematic. We do, though, also believe that the value that doors actually add, and we haven't been capturing fair value for our products for many, many, many years. And so prices have been going up, our costs have been going up. We're beginning to see that moderating, but candidly, we're not expecting to see much of that in 2023.